All right, let's dive into something truly ambitious today. It's called GreenLoop 3.0. And the idea here isn't just a small tweak to farming, it's a complete reimagining of rural life. I mean, look at that goal, turning things like waste and even arsenic into smiles. So, how on earth does that work? Let's get into it. Okay, so to get this, you first have to understand this fundamental shift in thinking. Forever, we've mostly followed this model on the left, the linear one. You make something, you use it, you throw it away. Simple, but incredibly wasteful. Green Loop is all about the model on the right, a circular, closed-loop system where, and this is the key, nothing is waste. Every single output becomes a brand new input for something else.
So why now? Why is this kind of radical change so critical? Well, it's because many rural communities, especially in Asia, are getting hit with what the project calls a double burden. It's basically two massive crises colliding at the exact same time.
And here's what that double burden looks like when you break it down. You've got an environmental crisis with things like arsenic poisoning the land and water. Then there's the economic crisis, where the money from government subsidies just leaks out of the system before it ever reaches the farmers. And on top of all that, a social crisis, with a huge number of young people who are what we call NEET. They're not in school, they don't have a job, they're not getting any training. It's a genuine perfect storm of problems.
So when you have a problem that's all tangled up like this, you can't just fix one part. You need an integrated solution. And that's exactly what GreenLoop 3.0 is designed to be. It's not just a single piece of tech, it's a whole new architecture for how a community can function. And here's the core idea, and I think this is brilliant in its simplicity. It's broken down into two layers that work together. First, you have layer A, the physical engine. Think of this as the body, the actual farm, the pipes, the compost. Then you have layer B, the digital ledger. This is the brain, the invisible data layer running on blockchain that makes sure everything is efficient, transparent, and fair. Let's start with the physical engine first. Okay, so this is where things get real, literally on the ground. The physical farm is designed to work like its own little self-sustaining ecosystem. It's a biological engine where the very concept of waste is designed right out of the system. Now, this is where it gets really cool. Just follow the flow here. Water from the house, it's captured, filtered, and then used to water the crops. Manure from the livestock, that becomes biomass that feeds a biogas plant. That plant then produces clean methane for cooking fuel, and the leftover slurry, that's a perfect liquid fertilizer. Even the scraps from the kitchen go into making super rich compost. See, it's a perfect continuous loop. Now, inside this physical engine, there's a really critical piece of technology focused on water. It's called the 3F40 plus MD system. I know, it's a mouthful. But what it does is amazing. It's a special irrigation method that tackles two massive problems at once, using less water and dealing with that arsenic contamination we talked about. And the results are just wow. This system uses 57% less water than typical rice farming. 57%? In places where water is scarce, that's not just an improvement, it's a total game changer. But here's the other part of the magic. It's not just about saving water. This irrigation technique actually changes the chemistry of the soil, which means the rice plants absorb between 9 and 21% less arsenic. So you're not just getting a better yield, you're getting food that is literally safer for people to eat. That's a huge public health win. All right, so that's the physical engine. But how do you manage all this? How do you keep track of everything and make sure everyone gets a fair shake? That brings us to layer B, the digital brain of the operation, a governance system built on blockchain to guarantee trust and transparency. This chart shows you exactly how that digital brain works. On the left, you have data being collected in real time from the farm. That data then flows into the middle, where it's recorded on a blockchain, which is basically a digital notebook that can never be erased or altered. And because that record is permanent and trustworthy, the benefits on the right can be shared automatically and transparently. No arguments, no middlemen. And if you look under the hood, the system is really smart. It uses a fast, normal database for everyday stuff, like tracking soil health. But for the absolutely critical things, like subsidy claims that need to be audited, it uses the super secure, unchangeable blockchain. It really is the best of both worlds, speed when you need it and bulletproof security where it counts. And these are the actual tools that make it all work for the farmer. They get a smart farmer card, that's their digital ID, an e-bill system that stops fraud by triggering subsidy payments only at the moment of a real sale, QR codes that let you trace food right from the fork back to the farm it grew on. And this last one, hash linking, it's like putting a unique digital wax seal on every piece of data. If anyone even tries to tamper with it, that seal is instantly broken for everyone to see. So we have this incredible physical farm and this super smart digital governance system. But what does it all really mean for the people living there? What's the actual human and economic payoff? Well, it means actual money in their pockets. This breaks it down pretty clearly. Just by stopping those subsidy leaks, they get an extra $20. Being able to prove their product is high quality and arsenic safe gets them another $30. Access to financial services adds $16. You even get a little from carbon credits. It all adds up to about $72 in new income per farmer every year. And it's not just about earning more, it's about spending less, a lot less. Because they're producing their own clean energy and their own fertilizer on site, their total operational costs get cut by around 40%. For a small farmer, that is an absolutely massive boost to their bottom line. And this brings us right back to that social crisis we talked about. This whole model creates a new kind of ecosystem. It turns farming from old-school manual labor into a high-tech profession. This creates totally new jobs, especially for young people and women as agri-entrepreneurs. It gives them a real reason to stay and build a future in their own communities instead of leaving for the city. But the vision here is so much bigger than just one farm or even one village. The whole point of Greenloop 3.0 is to create a blueprint, a model that can be scaled up to build resilience across the entire Asia-Pacific region. And this is what that future could look like. It's about taking these core ideas, the smart technology, the circular strategy, the transparent governance, and using them as the building blocks for an entire climate-resilient economy, right from the ground up. And, this isn't just some far-off dream. They have a concrete plan. The pilot phase is set to launch in 2026 with 500 farmers. The goal is to scale up to the national level by 2028. And by 2030, the vision is to see the first real smart agri-towns take root and even start expanding the model to other countries. This quote, I think, just says it all perfectly. The end goal isn't just to make farming better. It's to build a working prototype for what the prosperous, sustainable, and digitally connected rural communities of the future could actually look like. So when you put it all together, that physical, circular engine on the ground and that transparent digital brain in the cloud, you get a really powerful, holistic model. It's a system that tries to solve the environmental, economic, and social problems all at once. So the real question for us is, could this integrated, two-layered approach be the blueprint for a truly smart and sustainable rural future that we've been looking for?